Good morning, Metro Detroit. It's Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. How are you this morning? Time now is just past 6 o'clock in the morning. If you've got to be there by 7 o'clock, you've got 1 hour to get there. Listen to 9:10 a.m. Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. Good morning to all of you that are popping in each of the individual feeds. I get used to seeing many of those names, and we always appreciate hearing from you. Give us a call at 313-778-7600. I want to talk today about, I don't know how you want to call it. Let's just say construction in and around the communities in the city of Detroit. Many of you have seen the articles, and later on today, during the Anthony Adams show, Attorney Anthony Adams plans to have on a guest. He's going to interview Attorney David Jones, who's representing the apparently Pastor Winans and the leaders of Perfecting Church to discuss their project that has been long brewing at the corner of Woodward and 7 Mile. Any of you that are from Detroit, been in Detroit recently, whether you've just driven up and down Woodward, you know that there stands a very tall, outstanding structure in that community that back about, I think it was about 98, 99, they started tearing down some of the properties that were in that area. There was a very popular strip club that used to be located at that corner. They started a very, I don't know what you want to call it. Apparently, according to the story that was done on Channel 4, that apparently they thought that they were going to do a $60 million development, which not only included a mega church, but also would have included condos and other improvements into that community. Sounded like such a great idea. Y'all know good and well that here in the city of Detroit, we've heard a lot of the fanfare. You see the architectural drawings. You see that they've started to buy up land, and they put a fence around it, and they hire a security guard to sit there and watch the stuff. We've seen that story play out time and time and time again. And until recently, y'all know we did a show probably about a month ago about projects in the city of Detroit and the sheer number of construction projects that are going on here in our community. But until recently, a lot of those things were just a bust. You know, there would be grand announcements. There would be tax dollars pushed into that direction. There would be all sorts of announcements of plans that were going to come there, and then it would go up and then drop like a lead balloon. Unfortunately, the developers of that particular piece of property, the folks over at Perfecting Church, ran into some of those same stalls and have not been able to complete that project. And it's now been over 20 years. Now, let's not pretend that is the only project where we've had a start and a stop, and a start and a stop. You'll remember what used to look like Stonehenge out. It's actually located inside the city of Pontiac, but they've called it, now that they have redeveloped that area, I think it's called Bloomfield Park. If you used to drive down Telegraph, once you crossed over Square Lake, you would see these really tall structures that were just the interiors of parking garages and nothing else. It looked like some sort of mythical Gothic place, and it stood that way from, I believe, 2008 to maybe about 5-6 years ago, when they actually got started on developing one parcel, and now it's, it's a destination. It's not what they initially built it as, but in fact, it's a shopping destination with several different strip malls, and Aldi's, a few other stores that are out there, and some restaurants. They've actually figured out a way, and understand this, the leaders in the city of Pontiac worked on, I've got personal information on bringing developers in from all over the world, not just around the country, but bringing developers in from all over the world, showing them this land that had been cleared and that the developers have run out of money. They couldn't obtain financing for. You know that we went through a recession and things like that, and they just couldn't get it done. And it just stood there with, these hopes and dreams that one day maybe we'd be able to get it developed. Well, they've actually turned it around and gotten it developed. What comes to mind, there's another development that's located on Orchard Lake, just about a block away from 696. Same thing, probably about 14 years ago. There was there's a development. They did the same thing. Made an announcement. We're going to put in brand new housing, little subdivision here, small one level townhouses, the kind of things that are going very popular right now. They're all ranches with a garage. You've seen them in other communities around. Same thing happened. Developer comes in, great plans, go out and pay for architectural drawings, start pulling permits, start doing construction, run out of money. Now, you need to know that construction projects, once when they start, they've got a budget, and the budget says this is what we think based on other projects. This is what we think it's going to cost to get that built. And always, 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 any of you that have ever had a contractor come in and do work in your property, you already know this. Contractors give you estimates, and that estimate, and the bank will fund it based on what your estimates are and if they think that the project's actually going to work out. And then quickly that money gets soaked up into something else. It's not always some sort of criminal thing involved. It's generally costs go up. Labor costs go up. You've got to pay for this, you've got to pay for that. And after a while, and there are draws, that is, they advance you money that you can go out and go draw this money for this week to make payroll, and that week to make payroll, and the following to make payroll. And eventually that money runs out. And if you are not continuing to wind up going out getting new financing, you're going to wind up in the middle of a project that you can't finish. For everybody that lives in that community that is driven by that structure on 7 Mile and Woodward, you've seen that over and over again. You've lived through it. And now the city of Detroit has decided that they're going to take the owners of that particular lot to court, and they're going to force them to basically do what's happened in other areas, because the city has an interest in turning that property into something where the word is they want to activate that piece of property. They want to wind up putting something there that's going to start to make money, something that's going to not just improve the community and it's going to look new and shiny, but you always want to wind up putting some sort of something there where you're going to wind up adding to the tax rolls in the city. Whether you wind up tearing down, whether you do what they did out in Pontiac, which is you tear it down, but then you wind up bringing in different shopping centers. You bring in, a used car dealer and Aldi's. You put a couple of restaurants there. At least that spot is starting to make some money. Once they start to generate some money, then, in fact, you can add to the coffers of the city of Detroit. Well, the city would like to activate that corner. And they believe that, they've given the developers and the Perfecting Church family a very long opportunity to get it done. But here's the irony in that. For those of you, y'all know I wasn't born and raised in the city of Detroit. I'm from a city that has, gentrification came in and took over several different parts of the city where I'm from. Detroit has long been known as, for people that travel here and that care about ruin porn, they've had that stigma for a very long time. And I'm happy. I am very, very, very happy that they're finally starting to tear down some of the things that have the pictures you see nationally, because people, when they think of Detroit, they don't know anything at all about all of the great neighborhoods. They don't know about all of the homes with tree-lined streets and things like that. No. When you see, if there's somebody that lives out in Utah and Wyoming and Kansas, when they see Detroit, they see photographs and they see video of the ruin porn. They think about closed car factories. They think about old train stations. They don't see that the city is on a path where things are improving, where they're putting windows back in the buildings, where they're painting them, where folks are moving in and they're quote unquote activating office spaces. No, but the city got that way over some time. And I think that it's sort of, what's the word? Hypocritical of a city that had long been this downtrodden, hard fought city of, we've got all sorts of rough things and we come back from, sort of like following the Cleveland story. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, other Rust Belt communities, used to look the same way. And then they turned around and they started bringing in new manufacturing and they started bringing in new retail and turned the city around. Detroit's on the way, but the question that I want to ask is, how long do you wait? Do you give a developer? For those of y'all, because Anthony Adams is going to talk to the lawyer that's going to make the pitch that, y'all should leave us alone. I think this is the words that he used in the interview with Rob Maloney. Leave us alone, and now we're working, and let us get the project done. But for those of you who are Detroiters, who've actually, or Metro Detroiters who've driven up and down the street, you've seen that there. How long do you think you should wait to give a developer an opportunity to decide if they've bought the property, if they have been making real improvements? How patient should you be? Or should you say, you know what, we're giving y'all enough time. Time's up. We're pulling the plug. Get out of the way. We're bringing somebody else in. They're going to take over it. The city's going to wind up raising the money out of it, and we'll wind up doing something with it. I want to hear from you. What do you think about the controversy over the church, the hopefully future home of Perfecting Church, located at the corner of 7 Mile and Woodward? 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. Let's go to the phone. Let's talk to Nadine. Good morning, Nadine. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Kerry. How are you and how's everybody? I was just wondering, Kerry, does this rule, if they make a rule, apply to the road or bridge construction projects? Because right over here at I-96 in Telegraph, it's on Central but East of Telegraph, they've had construction since, it's like stalled construction since before COVID. So it's been, I don't know what they're doing.
You're talking about they haven't finished that bridge going over in the Brightmoor community. That's it. And that's not a private developer. That's a Wayne County and the state of Michigan fight over who's going to finish paying for it and how. Here's the thing, when you come to bridges like that, once they start to try to say, we're going to come in, we're going to replace the bridge has where the bridge goes, there's all sorts of wildlife and things down there. And as they start to get into it, they start to find out more and more problems, especially the Rouge River has all of these tributaries all around our community, and every single one of them is different. And what you find in every one of them is different. And you can't just come in and say, we're putting cement in the ground right here, and we're going to wind up throwing a bridge up over it without disturbing some of what's flowing over there. Because once they start digging, they're like, oh my God, there's a sewer up under here. Oh, we didn't know about this. And the city has old, outdated maps. And every single time they start to work on some of those things, they find other stuff that they knew absolutely nothing about. So that's not a private developer issue. That's the headaches that come with doing municipal construction and finding all sorts of new and exciting things. The more you dig, they'll finish it eventually. But I mean, please imagine being the people out there and that the only way back and forth to their homes is a bridge, and the bridge winds up going out and is out for 6 months. So, I understand the headache, but that's a different argument. I got to go to break. Thanks for calling in this morning, Nadine. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be right back.
The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
My38 is offering a great special that cannot be refused. Are you looking for a great deal on TV advertising? Are you searching for an avenue to get your business name out to the public? With My38, we are offering a great special with 100 commercial ads for a great price. This offer is for a 30-day ad placement. Please contact Devin C. for more information at 248-357-4566 or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads. The all-new 910 Superstation is your #1 source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000 watt urban radio station in town.
Did you know most vitamin supplements don't even come from food? Even the products with colorful fruits and vegetables adorning the labels are seldom derived from produce. Typically, supplements are synthetic, made in a laboratory. Modern science may synthetically imitate these chemicals, but your body isn't fooled. It knows the difference, and it craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. You need to consume fruits and vegetables daily in a variety of colors, as well as whole grains and other fresh food. That's why I formulated Balance of Nature. I wanted to be able to give my patients a natural alternative to the cheap, unnatural chemistry by giving them real fruits and vegetables. In fact, the only ingredients inside of Balance of Nature are whole fruits and vegetables. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff, the real stuff.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code RADIO5.
910 AM Superstation has the greatest advertising deal ever with our Godfather package. 100 spots for $600 with a must-air within 30-day policy, and we will even produce the spots free. That's right, free. Call Devin C. now at 248-357-4566. That's 248-357-4566. Or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. Let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Grace. Good morning, Grace. How are you?
All is well. All is well. I'm going to say this. The structure, actually, it's a beautiful structure. But I will say 20 years is too long to finish that project. But let's say this. If they would have kept the grounds up and it could have not been so bad of an eyesore as far as what it looks like. But if you go back 3 to 4 blocks behind the church, what are they going to do about that Beirut area? Okay, there's places over there that's been in the same condition, blame the city, that doesn't look any better than what's going on in that particular corner. So the city is
Thank you. So y'all listen, ladies and gentlemen, Grace has just hit the ball out of the park. That's my issue. My thing is you're complaining about one particular development, and as she just said, what about if it just 3 blocks away, that same neighborhood, if you drive down 7 Mile going towards 75, and then you just decide I'm going to turn left or right, you're not finding anything different. This was billed as a transformative project in that community, but come on now, they are not responsible. Even if you want to claim that one building is a nuisance, yeah, what about the rest of the neighborhood?
No, but it wasn't. It's not the building. It was just, to me, looking at the grounds, that it could have been kept up a whole lot better. I would have to say that, and I think the Winans actually, too, they could have done a better job of keeping the grounds better. They could have. And they could have, but I'm going to say the powers that be, because of what is going on along Woodward, like they're trying to do the new bus station, things of that nature, and then there's Amazon over there. Those people have put pressure on the city for that. I don't think it's the city per se. Yes, it's the city coming out, but I think there's others put pressure on the city for that project to be done, completed, or whatever. Let's tear it down,
or to take it away from them so that somebody else can develop it. Right.
That is correct. I truly think that's going on behind the closed doors, because we clearly know Amazon got there by hook and crook. Okay, so let's say this. It is somebody else really, really pushing the city to do that to the Winans. Okay.
Grace is saying it's a very high-profile piece of property. It's a very, not just high-profile, it's worth a heck, that piece of property is worth a heck of a lot more money now than it was when they first started. And the truth of the matter is, Blacks black regular developers can't wind up accessing the same money that white developers can. Those that are building a church, come on now, churches are not generally thought of to be profit centers. So they're a lot harder. I can tell you on the list that I've got of 200 different lenders that you try and send different projects to, four will actually look at a church, period. Churches are not profitable, y'all. So you can't really find the sort of financing that you can find if you're going to put an office development or something somewhere.
But hold on here. But they can actually, the Winans can actually hold a concert on those grounds, clean it up real good, hold a concert on that ground, and they can actually raise some money. They bring out everybody that can actually have a voice. They can raise the money for that particular project. We kind of need to know what's going on. What is the issue? And I'm pretty sure the city will rise the hell up to help them. I'm pretty sure of it because they are a pillar in the community and they have done great things and still doing great things. If they had a hiccup in that project, let us know. We will come out for you. That's all. Have a concert on those grounds and blow it out. I'm pretty sure people will come from all over to see them perform. It just needs to be some kind of innovative project to raise money. The city, calm the hell down, shut up. 6 other things that's going on in the city. Their house has been burned up for 17, 15 years right next to somebody else's house. And you guys ain't doing nothing about that. And it takes what, $13,000, $5,000, $3,000 to mow it down. But you want to mess with this particular project. There's other people behind it with deep pockets that want that property or just wanting to take control in some kind of shape, form, or fashion. But remember, everybody, the NBA draft is coming here in 2004. Your mayor is trying to clean up the city to make it seem like it's something really, really great. And they're going to shine in brand new along the area. But we still have devastation in this city. So the mayor ain't going to be able to fool everybody because we know what's going on. And Carrie, I'm going to yield my time. And I thank you for letting me vent. And city is pathetic.
Why would I wouldn't stop you because y'all, seriously, Grace has said everything that needed to have been said. There is absolutely no, listen, I understand that some projects, you run into fences and things like that. I understand that 20 years is a long time. There's a whole bunch of moving parts, but there is actually a reason that this is making news now. There's a reason that the city decided that, we need to take them to court. We want to have a judge co-sign taking this project away from them. There is a reason behind everything. Don't just think that this is Carrie's idea. You're right. And I urge everybody that can hear my voice to make sure that y'all tune in to Anthony's show later on this morning. Thank you for calling and saying it, Grace.
One quick thing.
Yep. We
are a bend over city and the billionaires are running through us. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, well, if you want to stop it, then you actually need to elect leadership that actually cares about what the people think and not what the billionaires think.
We got a show for that one. We need another show for that one. Boy, they sell us out though. They come in the right way and saying all the right things that we want them to say, and then they turn around and get bought the hell out. That right there, what are we gonna do about that? It's the character of the individual, and him or her can flip flop because that's what the mind does. That's what the mind does. The mayor calls them dysfunctional. I call them a whole lot more. And I'm going to let it go at that.
Thank you for calling this morning. Let's go to Fernando. Good morning, Fernando.
Good morning, Terry. I think you and Grace really compounded and put everything together. I mean, the elements that you were talking about, about the property.
I still want to hear from you. This is not just the Carrie show where Carrie comes on and runs his mouth. I was offered an opportunity to have that kind of show. I don't believe in it. I want to know what y'all think. So what's on your mind?
What I think, Carrie, is that the search, the project has been going on a long time. I really do. And I thought that it would be completed at this time. But Grace hit a home run when she said, if you go 2 blocks over, 3 blocks over, you need to vote from that area. And I really think the key issue, Carrie, this is just my own premonition. I feel that somebody in that area wants that property and wants that project because they're really building up their area there. You have Amazon, you have other corporations in that area, and I just feel that and the other thing you said I thought was spot on too. The value of that property has increased significantly too.
You're right. That property, there's no way that it's only worth what it was worth in 2020, back in 2000 when they initially started down this path. It is definitely it's increased in the last 5 years. And so clearly it's not just, you know, the old, are they just buying the dirt? You can't just price dirt. Understand this, the dirt at that location is worth a heck of a lot more now than it used to be. And it's always been, since it's across the street from one of the jewel communities inside the city of Detroit, it has always been a terrific place to locate. Listen, I promise you that everybody that lives right on the other side of would love to have not just what's up on 8 Mile, but they would love to have, you know, real shopping center options and things like that at that corner. They would love to have entertainment options at that corner. I get it. But the truth of the matter is, they didn't buy it then. Those options weren't there. Listen, go across the street, go develop some of those other projects for those folks that are looking to put what they want to put at that corner. They go, just all you got to do is walk back across the street and go further down towards 6 Mile. Buy those things, tear them down, and put whatever you want there. Leave these folks alone at that corner. That's my position.
One other thing, Kerry. One other thing.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Adams is a stand-up guy. I really do. I've listened to his show. I've heard some of the things that he said. And Anthony Adams, he is a man of his word, and he walks with integrity. So if Anthony Adams is involved and he feels that that project should stay in the hands of others, to me, I give some consideration to what he said. His word has a little weight, and I believe him to be a man of integrity. And thank you, Kerry, for taking my call.
Well, just do me a favor then. All right, listen to Big Brother later on today. Anthony, like I said, Anthony, part of his show today. Oh, actually, he just jumped into the feed. Good morning, those folks. Anthony knows when he calls me, I say, good morning, Mr. Mayor. And so I still feel that way. I listen. I lived in the suburbs there, but I live in Detroit now. I'm going to be voting in Detroit now. And I definitely want all of y'all to tune in to Anthony's show later on today because, you know, not just tune in and call in to make sure that all of your voices are heard about what's going on with that project. Here's the thing. The developers of that project, whether it's the Winans family and those leaders of the church, they need the community behind them right now. Because as you can tell, the city of Detroit, and as Grace just said, the billionaires, they've got an entirely different agenda. And so the only thing that's going to stop them is to make sure that there are community members who are standing behind that project. Yeah, it's taking longer than we wanted, but we're happy with the fact that it's developing now. And the last thing that needs to be done is that property taken out of their hands and put in somebody else's hands. So they need the community behind them. Okay?
Well said, Gary.
Thanks for calling this morning, Fernando. 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. I got to go to take the second break of the morning. It's a very quick break. We'll be right back.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit Bank of America.
Dickie, the number's 313-778-7600. Brother, pick up the phone and call.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who've agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy for months and months and months. I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and you don't know if something's going to help you or not. But I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days to taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
WADL gets a facelift and is now My 38 Detroit. Along with a facelift comes new programming. On Mondays at 8 p.m., catch a 2-hour block of Law and Order SVU. Tuesdays, Chicago Fire. Wednesdays, Dateline. More Dateline and Chicago PD on Thursdays and on Fridays. You'll get more Chicago PD to start your weekend. We'll still have some of your favorite shows like Mom, Blackish, and Friends. Just adding more for you to enjoy on My 38.
The 910 AM live stream can now be seen on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, YouTube Red, iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, Amazon Kindle Fire, any Windows phone, or watch us live at 910amsuperstation.com.
910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. This morning, we are teeing up a show that's coming on later on today from 9 to 11. Attorney Anthony Adams, who I affectionately call Mr. Mayor, his big brother Almighty, is going to have on. He's discussing the issue of the development that has been occurring at the corner of 7 Mile and Woodward, where things currently stand with the Black owners of that particular property, and what exactly the city of Detroit is attempting to do with the other developments that have gone on up the street, and why on earth that is starting to touch on to this particular development, and why it all of a sudden has become a hot property that the city of Detroit has decided they need to sue the Black owners and decide to try and remove this property away and to put it into the hands of some other developers. Who else to speak about what's going to be discussed on from between 9 and 11 here at Superstation 910 AM, other than Attorney Anthony Adams himself? Good morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Pretty good. What's on your mind this morning?
Man, always tune in early in the morning, man, just to listen to hear what you got to say, because you're always bringing real information to the community. And we're going to be talking about this perfecting church situation. And we're going to have one of their attorneys, David Jones. You know David, who's representing the church, and he's going to tell us exactly from their perspective what's been going on. The city made a really, really big push, kind of unusual for the city to go all out, had Conrad Mount out there on the block, every news station, everyone who would listen to him talking about why it was necessary for the city to step in and take action. So we're going to hear the other side, from the other side of the aisle. We're going to listen to David tell us about the who, what, where, when, why, and really reveal some of the lies and deceit that have gone on. It came out the mouths of city officials.
Well, listen, I'm going to be tuned in. I want to make sure that everybody that listens to the show is going to be tuned in. I mean, there's no change in history. We know that it has been a while, but the thing is, as like, I don't know whether you read the question of the feed, a lot of folks want to know what's taking so long. I've tried to explain to them, excuse me, other projects in and around the Metro Detroit area that basically they ran out of funds. They've stopped. It stalled for a while, but eventually, new fuel and new money was injected into the projects, and they wound up completing them and they finished them. And that now there's obviously a motive and somebody behind the curtain that wants that particular high profile piece of property that's worth a lot more money now for the city to do just exactly what you just said. For Conrad to go stand there on the corner, that performance theater was there for a reason, and we want to know why.
Yeah, and when you're talking about, when you look at that area, in particular the area, Woodward, 7 Mile, John R. State Fair, if you've ever ridden behind that area, you'll see that area is practically a wasteland behind the church. When you're citing someone for having a building as a public nuisance, when you read the complaint, they aren't talking about structural issues and structural damage to the building. The building itself basically is a secure building. And so now you've got a piece of property that the church has invested millions of dollars in. It's become the hottest piece of property in the city of Detroit because of its location and proximity to what's going on at the State Fair development. The city's always trying to grab land for other people, and this is a hot piece of property. 7 Mile Woodward frontage, leading into Palmerwood, Sherwood Forest. It's a hot property. And so now the city has decided that they want to take it upon themselves to rid the city of what they claim is a nuisance that doesn't even meet the legal definition of standards for a nuisance. But I'm going to let David kind of articulate, kind of what's going on, the type of money that they spent, and the conversations that they've had with the city prior to the city filing a lawsuit. There's a lot of webs in this piece going on, and people need to understand what happens when city officials use their unbridled power to go against private citizens, especially black citizens in the city.
There you go. Thanks a lot. All right. Listen, we setting it up. I'm looking forward to the show. We all will be tuned in. All right. All right. Yeah. Thanks for calling. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. Let's talk to Leroy. Good morning, Leroy.
Good morning, and thanks for taking my call. I like the idea of y'all on that situation with the Wyman. That church been there, man. And it's been there for a while, and I understand what y'all saying to run out of funds. But let me say this, man, because y'all really missed the point, and to the point where sometimes y'all become irrelevant. This is the deal. The black business people, they act like all we could do, and especially our politicians who sold us out, and this didn't start yesterday. Been going on since the 70s, that all we could do is drink liquor, smoke weed, and we happy with that. But they had a community benefits agreement, okay? And this is what you got, and you up on this. The developer said, wait a minute, before we put them on a job, we'll violate the benefits agreement and we'll pay a fine because, y'all got to pay attention to that. And this is the thing. When we look at these projects like the Winers Project, where they built that church, beautiful church, but the reality is, what I heard a preacher say is they ain't got nobody to put in there because their membership is dwindling, the kids ain't going to church.
Every church has that issue. Even the do you not look at the all of the properties that's owned by the Detroit Archdiocese, drive by those churches on Sunday. And this is not a COVID issue. COVID hit them with an entirely different thing. But the truth is the current generations don't get up and they don't pack churches the way that they used to, which is why I'm telling you, out of 200 lenders that I regularly have to engage with, 4 will actually consider looking at a church property. It's not a profit center. It really isn't. And so at some point we accept the fact that churches are not going to make the sort of money as you would get if you put a T-Mobile and a chicken joint or a barbecue joint or something on that corner. But understand this, you always want to wind up doing something. The city is not wrong for wanting to put a transformative project in the neighborhood, something that's going to activate that entire community so that they can build it. But the truth is, come on now, walk across the street. There's plenty of other land for the people that want to wind up taking that property. There's a lot of other land for them to wind up getting involved in, and they got to leave these people alone.
But back to my point about the community benefits agreement. We have to look at that. We, especially those of us who are elder now, we got to look at the idea of the fact that there was a community benefits agreement And they said we would rather pay a fine than put them on the job because this impacts the young kids now. You got this thing now where these kids just, where they opting out. For us, they had Jim Crow laws. Now these kids are putting themselves in Jim Crow by smoking the weed, the alcohol use, the literacy rate, and those of us who are active in this, and this lady called yesterday, we don't address this because you can't write them off. You can't say to our kids, well, we're like the only ones off and concentrate on the young. We've been saying that for how many years now? For decades. We have to do something for real and stop being irrelevant. If Winans wants somebody to fill that church up, he got to be relevant. And they're not addressing the fact that these community benefits agreement where they said we would rather pay a fine than put them on the job. In other words, we gonna violate the contract. You're a lawyer, you know what that means. Let's address the fact that these kids that these churches and everybody else got to be more relevant. It ain't just enough to say they don't pack them. Why don't they pack them? They smoking weed. You can address that. You can address the smoking weed. You can address the drinking. You can address the hip hop culture that we need to turn the page on. But y'all cannot address the fact that our kids we got to do something with them. And it's more than what we're doing. And
I agree with you. We got to do a much better job with telling our kids we don't want to put a marijuana dispensary on every corner. That is not the way to wind up increasing, employment and things in our community. I got you. I'm not arguing with that. It makes perfect sense. One of the things that Anthony's already put in the back. Okay, y'all. Let's just do this real quick before we wind up going to break. The ordinance about community benefits agreements is only a few years old. This project was undertaken 20 years ago. It's not covered by one. Should it be covered by one? Probably. Should you wind up letting all of the neighbors know what you're going to wind up putting there? Definitely. Should you hire people that are from the community as opposed to folks that are going to drive from Westland or further out? You absolutely should. I agree with all of that. But the first thing is the people that own it currently should be allowed to be the ones that develop it. Thanks for calling in this morning. Let's see if we can get go to Nathan, because I know Nathan we can knock out before we go to break. Let's go to Nathan real quick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan.
5 years ago, I rode by that property, and the first thing entered to my mind was the members who went to the financial institution, signed their names and secured that loan, and those members who donated to the building fund. Now, Bishop Ellis had a vision of constructing the city of Davis. He didn't have that problem. He started it, he finished it. But the good book said, without a vision, you perish. It's a difference in a vision and a dream.
I agree with you. There's a difference in a vision and a dream. And also, as he just told y'all, think about what happened over there at the city of David. Not only do they have a nice, big, beautiful church, they also built the senior citizen housing. It's been done for several years. Go ahead.
And guess what? I heard Bishop Winan on Mildred Gaddis' show. He said the project was paid for. He said that out of his mouth. Let's forget it till he said.
All right. Thanks for calling. I got to go to break. 313-778-7600. It's the last break of the morning. We'll be right back.
Attention. Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours. The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
My 38 is offering a great special that cannot be refused. Are you looking for a great deal on TV advertising? Are you searching for an avenue to get your business name out to the public? With My 38, we are offering a great special with 100 commercial ads for a great price. This offer is for a 30-day ad placement. Please contact Devin C. for more information at 248-357-4566 or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads. The all-new 910 Superstation is your #1 source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Goodpods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000-watt urban radio station in town.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. They had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only urban talk radio station. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. This morning, we're setting you up to listen to Attorney Anthony Adams' show from 9 to 11 this morning. He's going to have on David Jones, an attorney currently representing the Winans family, or Pastor Marvin Winans, and the leaders of the church at 7 Mile and Woodward, as they discuss the fact that the city of Detroit has decided that they're going to step in now and take the property away, is what they're asking the court to do. I mean, there's a whole bunch of colorful ways to wind up describing it and, bring them into the compliance and get a consent agreement and all that other stuff. But the bottom line is the city has decided to, do what they've done in the other done for other projects, which is step in for what Grace called billionaire developers. Step in for billionaire developers and take the property away from smaller people in order to turn it over to somebody else. And this sort of fraud on behalf of the city needs to be stopped. And again, the only way it's going to be done at this point is if, in fact, those people, the Black-owned developers of that piece of property, have the community behind them. So make sure that y'all tune in to Attorney Anthony Adams' show this morning from 9 to 11. Let's knock out a couple more callers before we run out of time. Let's go to Reggie. Good morning, Reggie.
Good morning, Terry.
What's on your mind?
This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a white carpetbag mayor. Okay, you have a compromised council. Now, the mayor is an attorney. Of course, what's his name? Conrad Mallett is an attorney. These deals are primarily consummated behind closed doors. We've had Brenda Jones say that. We've had Letitia Johnson say that. The deal is made behind closed doors before the council even know anything about it. Okay? And so when we talk about community benefit agreement, we do not have a community benefit agreement in Detroit. What we have is a community benefit ordinance. So you have the mayors, like I say, the mayor's an attorney. The developers have attorneys. Who is legally representing the interests of the people? The people don't have an attorney. That's the problem. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in, Reggie. Let's go to Jerry. Good morning, Jerry. How are you this morning?
Good morning to you, Mr. Jackson. How are you?
Pretty good. What's on your mind?
In my mind, I want to focus, and I know you don't have a time, Dr. Jackson. What's happening in Dickerson, a juvenile facility? It's a shame in our politicians, our elected people, you know, at 13 or 15 years old, juveniles get raped, sexual assaulted. We do not accept that, Mr. Gary Jackson. This is very serious. This is very dangerous. It's overcrowded. I would love, Mr. Gary Jackson, from you to put a special program to discuss this dangerous matter against our community, against our youth, against our people. God bless you. I would appreciate that, Mr. Jackson.
It's going to happen next week. Yeah, I don't know if you listened yesterday, but as I said, I was out of town for several days. I came back. I saw the. Thank you. When I came back, I saw the headline. I know that the county exec touched on it. I don't know all of the details. I'm going to find out, and we will be discussing it next week. So thanks for calling and letting me know, but I promise y'all we will talk about it next week. Let's go to New Tim. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning. Yes, good morning. I'm enjoying the conversation as usual. You know, I'm really going to say my judgment on how I feel about that project. And two times I listened to our brother, Mayor Anthony Adams, but, you know, I do have something to check. You know, if they're going to enforce that benefit agreement, they need to do it on everyone. If they're going to snatch if they're going to snatch their property, they need to snatch everybody else's property who have not complied to that benefit agreement. You know, let's be fair about it. I know it's been over 20 years. Maybe they went into a money problem, and just like the city gave who is that Illicit and the other ones to build that stadium, why don't they give some of that money that the federal government sent down here for the citizens of Detroit and give it to the Wyans? You know, they are part of our community, and they do good work, and maybe they can help.
Brother, let me tell you this. It is 6:53, and you're the first person to have said that. We've got money to give to everybody else, and nobody has said, you know what we're going to wind up doing with some of this COVID relief money that has been sent, instead of spending it for some of the same people that have given to the administration in the past. Why don't we put this money into finishing up that project? We'll make a loan to them, we'll advance it to them, and we'll take the money back out. Nobody said that all out. Thank you. Somebody needed to say it. If, in fact, we've got creative ways to help everybody else, y'all know who we're talking about. Why are we talking about taking the project away when we should be talking about let's fill the gap? That's the way that a lot of other projects work, the exact same way that what you're just talking about, you know, the Olympia development folks and everyone down here. They feel that the city steps in, the city and the state will step in, and they help fill the gap when you don't have the financing that you need. And nobody is saying, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to help out those black developers finish developing that piece of property, and we're going to use all of the resources we have in the municipal finance toolbox to help them get their project finished. No, they're just saying we're going to take it away. Understand this. I am glad we got New Tim on in order to say it. Somebody needed to say it. We need to find ways to help them finance finishing the project.
Yes, because if they are serious about it, they would help them out. Because what does the Wyans do? They help people out. You know, it's a church, and maybe they can help clean up their neighborhood over there.
I agree. I'm worried about the fact that I'm out of time and I'm over. We in the Jewel Jones time, but you are absolutely right. That's what needed to have been said, is we need to find ways to help them finish the project, as opposed to talking about get out the way so we can turn it over to somebody else. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate you for calling, y'all. I'm out of time. Next up is State Representative Jewel Jones show. Either he or a member of the foundation will be here to bring you information and inspiration from 7 to 9. And this morning from 9 to 11, we all should be tuned in to the Attorney Anthony Adams show as he talks about the Perfecting Church development at 7 Mile and Woodward. I look forward to talking to y'all. Know tomorrow's Friday. I've got a co-host, and y'all know that Keisha's always got something new and exciting for you. But today we're going to focus on tuning in to Attorney Anthony Adams Show. It's going to rain throughout the day today. Y'all get out there and just be prepared for it. I look forward to talking to each and every one of y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.